back to James in the studio.
It is remarkable to see how the cost of living crisis has been affecting the students. And conversations like this need to be had in order to create change to support those who are most affected. But now, let's welcome tonight's guest. He is a student that is vehemently for the strikes, and he has been out on the picket lines himself, actively trying to ensure the student voice is heard. Please welcome to the show, James.
Thank you for having me, James.
It's great to have someone here who is so vehemently for the striking. So how's it been out on the picket lines for you?
Honestly, I just love it so much. Out there every day with my colleagues, striking for justice. That's what I love doing.
You're there trying to get your voice heard. So what are you standing for with the UCU? What sort of things are you looking for the university to change?
Well, everything. Well, I think there's a lot of change needed to make sure that students get what they deserve.
Yeah.
You know, paying so much money a year, I really think that we're doing a good job as well.
That's perfect, yeah. I think staff should get more money, essentially, more money. I think staff should be able to get their own parking space and their own student accommodation if they want to go back and sleep during the day.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
So how many things have you been working on? What other strikes have you been going to? Like there's the railroad strikes, there's the WGA writer strikes over in America.
Yeah, well I've been going to the railroad strikes because obviously going to all these protests, getting around is essential. So I really appreciate the work that the train and the railways do.
Yeah, so I think more people should be striking, like the male men, the female men, everything should be on strike right now. Because how are we going to get the change we need without a general strike, essentially?
Exactly, and that's why I go out there, because someone needs to do it. I encourage everyone at home to join me out on the streets.
So have you got any plans for the coming week? Anything penciled into your calendar?
Well, the second I'm done with this interview, I will be going out and striking. Maybe get some lunch first.
Nice,
fuel me for the day.
You're going to be striking at the lunch place?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah, nice. But thank you very much, James, for coming in today to discuss your point of view on the strikes. He'll be sticking around in the studio today to show us how to make our very own picket sign. But first, Patrick has a report to share.
Thank you again, James. Recently, Vice-Chancellor of UEA, David Richardson, has announced his resignation and his intent to step down from his role that pays him over £200,000 a year, following the release of his expense report, which exposed the unnecessary expenses that he had claimed. He'd been reported to have been using the students' money on travelling to Hong Kong, riding in limousines and maintaining the grounds of his house. I mean, who spends £20,000 on gardening? His examples were as weak as the Greek economy. The university announced a temporary vice-chancellor, with David Maguire joining later this month. But let's see who you, the students of UEA, think can step into his gigantic and expense-ridden shoes.
I think Jeremy Clarkson should replace the Vice Chancellor.
Does it have to be like a serious answer? Okay, can I just say like Sylvester?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Harry Styles.
Oh God. Gemma Collins. Harry Styles. He's my answer to everything.
I'm gonna go with Taylor Swift, the Queen herself.
Beyonce. I don't know, just feel like he's a fun guy.
I would say Lewis Capaldi, because I think obviously he's quite funny, comedian.
Sylvester. I don't know. I don't know anyone intellectual. Someone with a lot of personality like Gemma Collins, I would love. I would choose David Attenborough.
I think he's quite a likeable character, unlike Vice-Chancellor, so I think he'd be a good fit.
Political yet educationally inclined.
It could be a celebrity or a fictional character or anything.
Yeah. Can I speak right into the mic for a good ASMR moment? Do you want that?
If you want to, yeah.
I'm gonna vote for Meryl Streep. Actually, sorry. No, I'm not. I'm going to answer the Onceler from the Lorax. It's not because I've got a crush on him. Perfect. Great.
Many students and staff, I'm sure, will be celebrating this news, most hoping that this will be a step towards both improvements for staff and students alike, as there are now a couple £100,000 floating about, which could be used to pay the staff a living wage or support students, rather than helping a man trim his bush. That was remarkably interesting, to say the least. I can't believe that Harry Styles was one of the choices. There's only one direction that can go, and it's down in the bush. But it's time to see what you guys have at home, have to say about who to replace the Vice-Chancellor with. @Not David Richardson says that he thinks the big man shouldn't have stepped down and that he was doing a perfect job. Whereas Sylvester the cat says, meow, 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 meow. Scintillating journalism. But for tonight's final segment, our guest here is joining us to help us make a proper big picket sign. So if you want to follow me over to the make table,
course.
James. So we have got what I think is the proper equipment you need. You've outlined it yourself, haven't you? You told us
Definitely.
to get this stuff ready. So what sort of steps would you take to make a picket sign? What sort of key things do you need to remember?
Well, firstly, you've already done it for me here, which is a fantastic thing. Cut out a nice big rectangular, usually, piece of cardboard. Obviously,
Why rectangular? Is it like aerodynamic, better weapon?
well, it's just natural writing words on. Obviously, you can fit a lot of information on it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and obviously you can change the shape up if you want to, you know, get creative.
Yeah. Like hexagons,
Exactly. Yeah.
dodecahedrons,
Any shape you want.
tetrahedrons,
Yeah. Yeah,
Mobius
absolutely.
strip. Yeah. So so what sort of thing would you write down when you're making a sign?
So, as I don't know what we're protesting specifically, we're going to go for something quite vague.
Yeah.
So, just write something here.
Juice. Oh, justice. You're protesting
Justice.
Zack Snyder.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say if I was to say do an anti-UEA one, I would be like.
You give it a go. I like it. Yeah.
We say no to UEA. How's that?
That's fine. I like it again. Very vague. Could mean anything. One thing I would say is capital letters are essential here.
Yeah, obviously.
Just very bold and, you know, really get the message across. Also, your colour selection. I mean, green is a nice colour, but black, red, blue, like these bold colours are very essential.
They need to be striking to the eyes. essentially,
Indeed.
that's what
And
I'm trying
something
to say.
we haven't done because we don't quite have time, but 3D like letters and like make
bubble
them.
writing.
Yeah.
So sort of like these ones, the examples that we made earlier. These are
Yeah.
really nice. This one's yours, isn't it? No means no.
Yeah, that is one of mine. Yeah.
You like to exaggerate.
I'm proud of that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So how would give us a demonstration of how you would hold up this sign?
So this one not having a pole is fine. Not
Yeah.
every sign needs a pole. So you'd want to hold this either side like this and raise above your head.
Yeah. So like this.
Exactly, like that.
Would you give it like any sort of like movement like this?
Yeah, maybe when you're chanting stuff, so as you're shouting, maybe you raise it like this.
Yeah. And if you would have a pole, let's pretend this pen is a pole.
Yeah.
So would you sort of do it like this?
Exactly, so you'd have two hands on the pole and
That is
lift up in the air.
I feel like I'm out there on the pickets myself, but obviously I wouldn't do it. Yeah. But it's important to attempt to make stuff utilising reusable and efficient resources. UEAness is proud to be an Albert Sustainable Certified production, and we've attempted to reduce our carbon footprint by reusing all of our props, and all 15 of the crew arrive in one single clown car. But thank you very much for helping us come here and make this sign. It's beautiful, James. It's absolutely beautiful. But that's sadly all we have time for here at UEAness. Join us next week to discuss the rising accommodation prices, a ban on the Hive communal piano, and plans to freeze over the lake to fit a multi-storey car park. As always, say thank you to our guest, and thank you for tuning in to us in the studio. We hope you have a great UEA night. Cheers, thank you, and goodbye.